Welcome to In Your Neighborhood. I'm your host, Chris O'Rourke. That big red sign behind me tells you where we are, but what it doesn't tell you about is the amazing transformation that took place here.
There's nothing quite like a before and after picture sequence to elicit a wow from someone. So we're going to get one out of you. This is a picture from about 6 years ago of an old Pennsylvania House warehouse in Lewisburg. Before, after. This is recent video of that same building, which is now the Miller Center for Recreation and Wellness. Quite an eye-popping change, right? The 96,700 square foot center sits behind the giant supermarket and at the trailhead for the Buffalo Valley Rail Trail. I don't think I can stress enough how enormous this place is, and they even gave some of that space to Evan's Physical Therapy Services and the Sun Orthopedics Clinic. We were here on a quiet afternoon in mid-March. Center employees were gearing up for the influx of kids after school in the sports and rec area, which includes a number of courts and a turf area. While this area was quiet, the 18,000 square foot fitness center was fairly active. This is the time of the day that is a challenge for the Miller Center and every other facility like it. What do you do with all this space during the day, especially when school is in session?
During the quieter times of the day, particularly now, that's when we're starting to see it being used by things like homeschooled children will come in and do their gym class here. So it's exciting. We also had a preschool class come in, do a field trip to the Miller Center. We thought we had all these ideas, and what's been exciting about things like the opening event is we're getting more input from community members saying, I have another idea for how you can use your space. So, and we certainly have space to fill and hours of the day to fill. So we're open to those suggestions and ideas.
Miller tells us her family started talking 6 years ago about finding a place where they could all gather. Like all families, she and her husband drove their 4 kids all over Creation to get them to different places at different times. The discussion of a gathering spot then morphed into talk of how the Playworld Systems family could give back to the community in a really meaningful way. Building a center like this also played into their belief in recreation and that the world needs play. They zeroed in on this spot because of its proximity to the rail trail and St. Mary's Park.
I did tour it early on, and if you could have seen what it was where Pennsylvania House furniture was stored before it would be shipped out to the different furniture companies. And it was like this area, but only open, and you really had to use your imagination to see what this could become. And so it was exciting to see it evolve from just an abandoned warehouse that we were able to repurpose and not have to change the footprint at all. We stayed within the confines of the footprint, and then it became like a puzzle piece, trying to fit in those spaces that we thought were needs in the community that had not been met any other way.
Like most big projects, there was a time when this one didn't look like it was going to happen. But the Miller family was able to get community support, and Evangelical Community Hospital got on board to help with the vision of this being more of a wellness center than a recreation facility. We heard twice on this day how Miller's husband Matt said that if it was only a recreation facility, then they've not really fulfilled their vision and mission for the place. One other key partner, the Degenstein Foundation, came on board with some funding at a critical point when they thought they were going to have to abandon it. But instead, they got back on track. Construction started in December of 2016, and it was completed almost a year later.
It was really fun, and it took a village, so to speak. A lot of people involved in the process, a lot of input given by a variety of different sources, but particularly family members. And again, we actually did go through a period of conducting a feasibility study in the region. One of the things we are very sensitive to as the small community that we are is how do we maximize the limited resources that we have? So we weren't trying to reinvent ourselves or recreate the wheel as far as what already exists in the community. So we were looking to fill needs that hadn't been met yet. So that was sort of the mindset we had going into this project. And then we decided there were certain things like making sure that the flooring in the field house was multi-use, so that it wasn't, while it looks like just basketball, it's very much multi-sport. There are pickleball tournaments held here, volleyball, basketball, of course futsal, which is a version of soccer. Field hockey is played here. So really, we were trying to make it as flexible in use of space as possible to achieve what we thought did not exist in this community.
The doors opened first on the fitness center back in July, with the rest wrapping up in November. The grand opening took place in March, and initially they were unsure of how many people would show up. They were thrilled when 1,000 to 1,200 did. It gave them a chance to show off all this place has to offer, from the sports and rec area with its many multi-use courts and its turf area that you heard Beth talk about, and the many things you can do here. And oh, by the way, the perimeter of this big space also doubles as their track. And during the quiet times, you'll find a number of seniors taking advantage of this nice feature. Above it all is a bleacher section overlooking the area for families and spectators that seats 1,500. There's also the massive fitness area, which has just about anything you could possibly ask for to get and stay in shape. You'll find free weight plates and dumbbells, to resistance pieces and cardio machines. It's all the latest equipment and tech that you would want. Miller Center Executive Director Drew Kelly gave us a grand tour on this day and showed us one cool thing you can do with the Previa Networked Fitness Key.
Pick up where you were. You can pick up where you left off. It'll remember your workouts. It'll store everything for you on the cloud. So if you want to take your smartphone with you and see what you've done at the gym that week. And then once you get your entertainment choices here, the token will also remember all of your passwords for Netflix, Hulu, and everything else. So it'll just automatically log you back into your account and pick you back up from where you left off. So if I was watching House of Cards, it'll just pull House of Cards right back up for me. So I like working out a lot more with this.
It's like incentive. You want to finish your show.
And when you don't pedal, you can't watch. So if you stop moving, it'll just say, oh, I see you've taken a break here. You're not going to be watching any more TV.
There's also a performance training area for the serious athletes who really want to do well in their sport. Group fitness also is a big deal here, with spinning being their most popular, along with P90X, Pilates, and yoga. There are actually dozens of different group fitness classes, and you can even take variations of those classes with nearly 300 class offerings each month. My favorite name, Beachbody, that is everything you would think. Get in shape, lose weight, so you look good at the beach. The final piece greets you when you enter, the Cornerstone Kitchen, which wasn't open on this day, but when it is, you'll find plenty of healthy offerings. Now, this seems to be as good a time as any to introduce a new term that we learned here, which is third place, as in your third place, third only to your home and work. A place like the Miller Center where you can come and enjoy spending time with like-minded people and enjoy everything they have to offer here. Another term we heard a lot here is Dream Team, which is what Beth Miller calls the staff. From the board of directors right down to the dozen or so full-time employees, including Kelly, to the 40 or 50 part-time employees, group fitness instructors, and personal trainers.
I am far from an expert in anything. I rely upon the people that are here, to be experts in their field. So our sports and rec guy, Kyle Snyder, is just phenomenal. He knows all the players, knows the coaches, knows the referees. Director of Fitness Operations here, Robin Barth, comes with an amazing resume. She's a triathlete herself, so she lives the life that she preaches here in the gym. And the guy that's running our cafe is a former cafe owner here in Lewisburg, Chris Wheeler.
Miller says they've tried to focus on what she calls the 4 pillars of wellness. That is, not only cardiovascular fitness through the fitness center and nutrition education with the Cornerstone Kitchen, but also socialization, with the size and scale of the space creating opportunities for groups to come and gather. And finally, stress management and mindfulness. which they're looking at through meditation classes and things that can help to decrease the stress. The other big challenge for the center doesn't have anything at all to do with wellness or recreation, but perception. Because the Miller name is in the title, Beth says there are people who think it's funded by the family and that they are somehow profiting from it. The truth is, the only thing the family gets from it is the joy of seeing it succeed and being enjoyed by the community, because it is a 501c3 nonprofit. The hope is that once they pay down the debt on the facility, the proceeds will then go back into growing the center and keeping it sustainable. The plus for the Miller Center in that regard is that they're ahead of what they had hoped to be at this time for memberships. The thinking was that they would have reached the 1,000 member plateau within a year of opening. Instead, after just 6 months, they have over 1,000 members for the fitness center and over 2,000 members on the sports and rec side. So the future is looking very bright for this facility, and Miller and Kelly both agree that they've only scratched the surface of what this facility could be for the community.
I think that there are programs out there that none of us have even heard of yet that we would love to have here at the center. We've discovered about 2 weeks ago during our grand opening that we've kind of got a pretty good event space here too. You know, we dressed the place up with lights and flowers and and did cocktails for some guests, and have realized that there's a lot of people looking for a place to hold a big event, and this is a big place. So we're going to look into that and develop our catering model, and just I think we'll be coming up with things that we haven't even thought of yet, and have them here at the Miller Center. Children's Health Fair with EVAN, that was at the Susquehanna Valley Mall for years. They're going to be doing that here in the fall. We're having an unpaved event, which is a group of cyclists that are going to be doing about a 100-mile trail ride that will begin and end here at the Miller Center. And Girls on the Run 5K is moving in here this fall too. So we'll be having those 400 girls and their running buddies and their parents will be here with us in probably the late November, early December timeframe.
Kelly says their membership fees are very scalable. If you want to do silver sneakers, that's often 100% paid for by insurance. They also have reduced and discounted memberships for veterans and people in the military. Their monthly fitness membership is $49 a month, which includes the whole place. That's your sports and rec programs if you want to shoot some hoops on the court, or work out in the gym, or even unlimited group fitness classes. Kelly hopes that they'll be so successful that they'll be able to provide scholarships for kids who want to come here but can't afford it. Finally, the last thing we need to talk about is the eye-catching logo, because there's a neat story behind it. Matt's father, Dale, spearheaded this effort and took a route that's becoming increasingly common. He went to the website 99 Designs. The process started with a brief that outlined their name, purpose, objective, and anything special they wanted to convey. In their case, not just fitness, but also health and wellness for all ages. They described the physical facility and the programs they plan to offer. They chose to work with the website's best designers, and Dale says he awoke the next morning to an inbox full of designs for the Miller Center. Overall, they ended up choosing from over 600 designs from designers around the world. Once the design was chosen, they worked with the person to fine-tune the design she submitted. They also had her design their business cards. They communicated with the designer entirely through the website, and from what they could tell, she was based in Southeast Asia, as their PayPal payment went to 99 Designs in Australia. So she worked while they slept, and vice versa. Dale says it was a great design and good experience, and the best part was it only cost $1,000.
The Miller Center also has really affordable childcare if you need it, and an after-school program that will morph into summer camps. When we come back, we'll head south to show you a really impressive site near Susquehanna University.